make a point of putting all award, giving all of them away, so I don't have them in my house. So I never see them, and I never think that's what it's about. So my brother has some, my mom has them, I never see them. I never think about them.
Awards may not be a high priority for Angelina Jolie, but by the year 2000 she had something better, box office clout. She'd have even more after signing on to play Lara Croft.
They convinced me that it was not going to be silly and campy. That really wasn't the point, but the point is she's a warrior and she's very much a woman, but that it was going to be really hard and it was going to be a challenge. So they kind of challenged me, and I don't back down from that easy.
If I fall, aren't we both going over?
The challenges of Lara Croft Tomb Raider came in many forms. To measure up to the video game, Angelina had to increase her ample 36C to a 40 double D. She also had to be in top shape for the stunt work.
They did put me on such a disciplined schedule, and we did have so many great teachers when it came from kickboxing and boxing to canoeing up and down the Thames River to practice for Cambodia to all the weapons training and obstacle courses and climbing ropes and things we had to do. And that puts you in a certain mindset that gives you very much her personality because you get desperate and focused, and then you also get proud and strong and competitive.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider, though, really showed that she could carry a film, and a big, expensive action film, and do something that most actresses in her age range haven't been able to do. And it turned into over $100 million domestically and worldwide. So she proved her mettle as a box office star, and that's what Hollywood's about. It's about the numbers, and she proved that she could do that.
On its release, Tomb Raider became the highest-grossing action movie with a woman in the lead role. The production used locations around the world, including Cambodia, where Angelina was disturbed by the disparity between the rich and the poor. She became a goodwill ambassador for the United Nations.
I think she's got other things she's interested in right now, too, that may really dictate where she decides to go with her film career. And I'm talking about her humanitarian causes. The fact that she's out there traveling the world and really becoming a humanitarian goodwill ambassador, much like Audrey Hepburn did later in her career.
Although the UN keep her busy, she still found time to work with an old friend, her GIA director Michael Christopher, on Original Sin, co-starring Antonio Banderas.
I think I've lived through maybe 10 or so years ago things that she's living through now, and so we seem to be interested in the same problems or the same issues, same themes to want to deal with, and we discovered that on GIA, and so we wanted to do something together again. And as soon as I finished this script and saw how complicated and dangerous this character was, I sent it to her right away.
Action, boom, and a beautiful enchanting bride.
Angelina plays a seductive con artist and shares a steamy love scene with Antonio.
We've all been so kind of have to answer so many ridiculous questions about the love scene we have that we've all been kind of, but
Isn't that
it was
kind of
great.
old,
He was, but I mean, so it's we haven't had a chance to really talk about actually working together. So it was great. He's a really nice person, and it's nice that he has the people that like him so much.
Despite the two top stars, audiences were not seduced by Original Sin, and her next film, Life or Something Like It, cast her completely against type.
Is it finally Denver's year? Or are the Hawks going to open up a big old can of butt whooping? I'm playing a very silly girl. I've got long nails and big hair.
I don't think people could accept her in that role. And also they weren't sure. You know, they'd not seen her in a light romantic comedy, and, she has a much tougher image. So, no fault of her own. She was fine in the film, but I think the audience had a hard time accepting her. And it may have been a bad decision to color her hair that way because I think it might have been too early. They just couldn't buy it.
Angelina plays a TV reporter who's reassessing her life after someone predicts she's about to die. At the time, she was rethinking her own priorities after adopting a baby boy, Maddox.
I said, don't send me anything because I just want to be with my family, and I don't want to be so focused on career and work, and I want to focus on what's important. And unless a great project comes along right now, I don't want to. And then a few weeks later, I got a call, and they said, there's a script out there that's exactly about all the reasons you don't want to work and focus on family, and it addresses all the things you're feeling right now, which is that, you know, this idea of being famous or successful, or all these things you give up and you keep working and working and working, and you forget just to enjoy real life.
Angelina admits there is an upside to her particular line of work. The sequel, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life, was more than just a contractual obligation.
Do you ever do anything the easy way?
And risk disappointing you.
I do love the adventure of it, and I love her. I wish, you know, it's great to be able to be her for a few months. You know, for 9 months out of a year, I get to take an adventure, and I really do take the adventure and travel. And we were on the, where else do you get to go on the top of a live volcano?
But during the making of Cradle of Life, her personal life was turned upside down. She suffered a very public divorce from Billy Bob Thornton after 2 years of marriage, and a bitter estrangement from her father, John Voight. This may have played into her decision to star in Beyond Borders, the story of a woman who risks everything to join the man she loves on his humanitarian adventures.
This child, his mother's in the truck. She's wounded.
I just read it to the end and found myself crying on the, you know, by myself in a hotel room and thinking just how beautiful the story of her relationship with her children, and was just shocked by what was in the script, and couldn't really understand how that was how that had happened.
Parts of Beyond Borders were filmed on location in Kenya. Taking lives kept Angelina closer to home. She plays an FBI profiler helping the Canadian police track down a serial killer.
Pattern of marks on Marin's neck show that the killer is left-handed. He's sketching with his right hand. He lit a cigarette with his right hand. I kind of read about profilers and people that do that, and there's something very sensual about them, and there's something very interesting to play as a woman, somebody who watches your hands and your feet and why you do different things. And she's very, she's an observer, and kind of, there's something odd about her that I like.
Despite her desire to settle down, Angelina keeps busy with projects like Shark Tale and the retro-futuristic Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. But she takes solace in the fact that the man in her life will be waiting to greet her at the end of the day, her son Maddox.
After tonight, I'm going to come home and he's going to be in his little pajamas and come running at me and hug me, and then I'm going to feel special.
You've been watching Angelina Jolie on Famous. Join us for more movie celebrities next time.